So I mentioned last time that I started a sticker club on Patreon, and I did that, I think, 2 weeks ago. Yes. So I did that 2 weeks ago, and I actually got 5 people signed up. What I did was I started a founders sticker club. Basically, it's like a founders tier pricing where it's only $5 a month, because I do plan on making the overall sticker club, like the regular price, $8 a month. Having a limited spots open for 5 did help get people to sign up, and I actually sold out of those like within 24 hours of posting it on my Instagram. So I was honestly very, very shocked. I was hoping to get like 1 sign up by the end of the week. I'm just very, very grateful that people showed up and were excited. I think I was very, honestly, kind of unsure if I would even get any signups for a sticker club. I don't have a ton of followers, so I didn't know if demand was there, but I think this goes to show that having a quality connection with your community versus just quantity still makes a difference, and people do want to support you. And so I'm really excited about that. So I set my Patreon to be 3 mystery stickers. So basically, this is kind of like, I would say almost like omakase, like chef's choice style. Especially if you've ordered from me before, I will do my best to not give you any repeat. And I will try to pick things based off of what you like what types of art you enjoy. I'll try to pick those. And then the other reason I wanted to have a founders tier sticker club was that I actually didn't commit to creating exclusive designs for sticker club until we got a minimum number of signups, because I do still want these to be quality, like dishwasher safe and waterproof stickers. And so I get those stickers, the matte ones, ordered through Sticker Blitz because they can get them done pretty quickly. And I do like the thickness of their matte stickers. So they basically look like this. And so they are the die cut stickers. They do a pretty good job of creating the offset of the way that I want it. And then the thickness of the stickers is also pretty good. I like Sticker App for my holographic or other materials, but their matte stickers are a little bit on the thinner side. They do have a nice soft touch, but I think for practical purposes, I do like Sticker Blitz for what I'm looking for Sticker Club. But you know, if I only buy like 2 stickers, that's like $9 for 2 stickers. So that wouldn't necessarily make sense financially unless I had a certain number of people that will be ordering these. So that's the other reason I wanted to fill out that tier before I commit to making exclusive designs. But like I said, people signed up really quickly, and so I actually had to make these exclusive designs a lot sooner than I anticipated, which is a great problem to have. I just was like, oh, people are going to put me to work right away. So these are the designs for April. If I can get this open. So I showed you one. Basically, this was like a snarky plastic bag that says, I think not, and it just says, have a day. And then this is the other one. I don't know if you can see that, but basically it's an angry bunny holding a carrot that says, don't bully me, I will cry. And so I don't know, I just like the face a lot. So these ones will be available only through Sticker Club. I may put some of the extras on my site at the end of the year or something like that, but for now they are exclusive to Sticker Club, and I just want to make sure that that is a feature of Sticker Club so that people are getting, you know, exclusive access to the things that I said they would. So I generally like the quality of Sticker Blitz stickers. They have occasionally sent me stickers where maybe the backing is a little bit fuzzy or there are some tears, and the sticker itself is fine, but I still qualify those as B grade. And so if there are more than like a few in a batch, I will email them, and I have done that before. Actually, I've only done that once. They were great about just sending me a reprint, and and not charging me for the first batch. If you are looking to get custom stickers printed and you want them quickly, I think I've gotten them in like 2 to 3 business days. So if that's something that you're looking for, I do have a code that you can use for 10% off. I do get a little bit of a kickback, just as a disclaimer, but I do like them for matte stickers. I have not tried their holographic or their sticker sheets. I have used them for magnets as well for my Stronger Together barbell design. But yeah, I would say for matte stickers, they're pretty reliable so far. The other thing that I am also going to be adding, or including, I should say, in the sticker club is a handwritten note for me. So it's kind of like a pen pal situation also. And for this one, I've decided to include the handwritten note on a mini print. So this is the one that I'm including for April. Basically, I have these also printed through a manufacturer, and I just think it's a cool way to include a mini print, but still have like a personalized note for everyone that signed up. I will probably also throw in more mini prints in future months. I just don't want to commit to it depending on what I have on my plate. But basically, any extra surprises, I think that's something that I definitely want to include in future months. And then for this month, I'm super excited about this. I got these Betty White stamps from the post office because these will be sent through stamps instead of like a tracking number, which helps keep it affordable, but also makes it open to international because I can just send them with stamps. I need to do like 2 or 3, depending. I'll have to check the USPS postal rates again, but I love Betty White. I think this is a really great way to honor her. She's a good one. And then I just want to thank everybody who signed up for my Founders Club. I really appreciate the support. Again, I was not at all expecting to fill out all the spots for the Founders Club so quickly. So I just want to thank Stevie and Jean and Portia and Whitney and Tammy. Thank you guys so much for being my very first supporters. I will include extra goodies for y'all in your sticker club packs, and yeah, I'm just so excited. So while I'm packing these, I thought it would be a good time to chat a little bit about having a small business, being a small business owner right now during these times where obviously, if you have been paying attention at all in the US, things are kind of a mess right now, especially also with like the tariffs and everything that are happening. I know this is a really tough time for small businesses, especially if you get keychains and things like that made in China, because there just aren't a lot of manufacturers in the US that can do it, or they can't do it for as affordable of a price. So this is another reason I wanted to really focus on having multiple income streams, even if they're all small. Like obviously this is not a huge chunk of my revenue, but it is helpful to have some sort of recurring income stream, even if it's just a very small amount. I think it's just healthy to have a diversified, I guess, like different channels of where you're getting your sales and your revenue from. And I think it's also just like fun to have multiple things to work on. And, you know, everyone finds value in different things. So right now, I will also add that, you know, I do have a strength coaching business as well as the art side for Loodles Doodles. So that also helps because it is a service and I'm not really selling products through that like it has a lot less of overhead. So I am actually making a profit off of that business, which I'm not currently making like a net profit with Loodles Doodles right now because I have had to spend a little bit up front for things like materials. Shopify costs money, so I paid for that upfront for annual. But I am making sure that my cost of materials and the prices that I'm charging like do get me a net profit. But you know, you just never know. Things are very volatile right now. Making sure that I have different avenues where I can pivot is really important. Also for me right now, like having a sticker club, I think also ties back to my goal of building like a community and really making things fun. I think with the economy being a little bit unstable right now, which just might be an understatement, people are feeling more apprehensive about spending money on non-essentials, which I totally agree with. I don't think people should be spending money on anything that's non-essential, but I do think in particularly dark times it can be helpful to have spend like a little bit of money, nothing crazy, on things that bring you joy, right? And so for me, it's really important to be able to provide that for people who are looking for it. I would never pressure people to buy things that they don't need or push them to buy things that, they don't think they want, but I do want to be able to provide that sense of joy if people are looking for it. So right now, I think, of course, there's always that question of like, was this the right choice to go and leave a quote unquote stable job, work on my own business full time? And ultimately, I actually don't think there's really many jobs that are very stable in the way that we thought of it before. So if that's the case, I might as well do my own thing and just be very thoughtful and intentional about it. I definitely don't plan on running my businesses strictly off of vibes, because that would just be irresponsible. I think keeping an eye on what the expenses are and like how much I'm spending on marketing, which at this point I'm not spending money on ads or anything like that. I'm really just spending money on like booths for in-person markets, or I guess that's it. So that's all I'm spending on marketing right now. So I'm definitely not shelling money for ads until I understand what my target audience is, where they're hanging out on different platforms. Mostly right now it's more just building community, and I think that's actually more effective marketing, to be quite honest. Currently I'm not breaking even yet with my art business. I have made sure that the way that I set my prices, I'm at least not losing money with every sale. That goes for even accounting for if I were to offer things at wholesale, because wholesale typically is 50% of retail, making sure that at least I can cover that. Because if you're losing money on wholesale, then that also just would not make sense to have that as an offering. So the goal is to close that gap more and more down the road and become profitable as a business when I take into account all the operational costs and everything. Right now, we are getting closer. We're not there yet, but like I said, I have that other strength coaching business that does have quite a bit of a profit margin because the overhead is so low. I literally just pay $19 per month for the programming software, and I think I also pay a little bit for like liability insurance. That gives me a little bit of wiggle room to play with for the art business. That's, I think, another way that you can kind of mitigate if you have another part-time job or another business that you have on the side. Those can help provide a little bit of buffer so you're not essentially running out of money. I am very privileged to be in a position where I have enough money saved up from the last 10 years of working in tech, and also have another business that is currently profitable to give me a little bit of buffer for running the art business. Whether I am regretting leaving my job to do this, I would say absolutely not. It's also only been a couple of months, but I also think that it's, obviously a very personal decision. I'm not in a position where I am relying on this business to put food on the table, which is really nice. Obviously, everyone's different. I have heard that some people, having that pressure really motivates them to actually put effort into their business and run it like a business. But I find that that can be a lot of unnecessary pressure for me personally. That can actually stifle like creativity, because there's so much pressure that like, it's like, if I don't create this, then I can't eat for the next month. And so for me, having that buffer room actually gives me a lot more space to be creative. And I feel like I, knock on wood, have not experienced like a super creative block yet. So I think having that healthy balance is what helps me maintain that. That way also I have that space. Like if this ever becomes too much, I'm doing too much, I can always take my foot off the gas a little bit and be more or less okay. I think it's a really personal decision, but I'm kind of curious to hear if you guys, do you have a small business? Are you ever thinking about doing a small business? Is that something that you would want to do full time? And if you are, like, how are you thinking about that? What other questions do you have for me about how's it going? I think I've already talked a little about if I regret doing this, because I think there's always that question in the back of my mind of like, oh, like things are falling apart. Like, is this really the best time to be a full-time business owner, right? And I think for me personally, because things are so crazy in the world right now, I actually don't think I can fully commit to doing a full-time job where I'm working for somebody else. Like, I just don't think that would be fair to the people I work with, and I wouldn't be able to put my best foot forward. And I think I've gotten better at decoupling my identity with work, but I still want to be proud of the work that I put out. And so if I feel like I'm not able to do my best there, I just wouldn't feel great about it. And again, I'm very privileged to be in a position where I can make that choice to leave and do something that I feel like is more fulfilling for me.